Post Road as we take on the first installment of the New Haven Chargers Coaches Show here today with Coach Pincince from the football team. How you doing, Coach?
Doing very well, thank you.
So you've had a great start to the Northeast 10 season. Overall, with a record of 2-1 so far, but you're 2-0 in the Northeast 10. Talk about that first game against Bentley. Great, exciting end. Marched down the field twice to score with a last-second field goal. 2.2 seconds left for a sophomore kicker. First time he's been in that situation.
Well, we're excited that we got him here, first of all, and Danny Stock. And, you know, he obviously made a couple plays for us there at the end of the Bentley game, but it really was a great statement for all three phases of the team there, offensively, defensively, and special teams-wise. They all stepped up there in the last couple minutes, and we're happy that Danny made the kick.
Now you started to see in that game the emergence of Aji Patterson as the possible go-to for your starting quarterback, and you did that last game against American International, and it definitely paid off. He had a fantastic game, 290 total yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, a pass to Adegunle from 13 yards out for a 3rd touchdown. He had a great day. He
did. You can see physically he's a very talented young man. He's starting to grasp our offense a little bit after being here for a couple years and getting with us. He's got a little bit of presence about him. The kids kind of rally around him a little bit, and luckily for us, he made a couple big plays on Saturday.
Now, talk about the game in general. It turned out to be 31 unanswered points for the Chargers. Took control of the game in the 3rd quarter with 3 touchdowns. What does that win mean for the program moving forward into Week 3 of the NE10?
AIC is the 2-time defending champs in our league, and they got a lot of very, very talented players, and I bet you at the end of the season they're going to have a lot of wins in the win column. And so what I think it shows is that when our kids put it together and concentrate and continue to play hard, that they can play with anybody in this league, and hopefully all 3 phases can take the next step this week and play error-free. And if we do that, I think we'll be okay.
So now, coming off of that game, Aji Patterson, we talked about him. You put him in that starting role. 290 total yards, ends up earning himself Player and Rookie of the Week honors from the Northeast 10. Not out there yet publicly until this moment. So what do you think about that?
It's great. It's great for him. I really do believe it's a team award, too. If you watch the offensive line blocking up front, they did a great job. Our running backs are excellent in the pass protection and running the football. And there's probably 3 or 4 catches out there, highlight reel type catches that are wide outs make that really help his numbers and help his stats. But I think it shows he's got a shot, shows he's got some potential there to be a leader for us. And I'm glad that anytime the University of New Haven get recognized in the league awards, it's great for us.
And he showed a lot of potential in the 3rd quarter last game where, reading the defense, knowing when he should take off and run. A couple of great plays where he broke away from the defense. He was stumbled a couple times, caught his feet, and ended up getting an extra 8-10 yards out of it.
Yeah, that stumbling and those breaking of the tackles is all coaching. I'm not going to lie. No. He does things that you can't coach. We try to put him in great spots, but the best thing that we did was recruit him here at the University of New Haven. He's growing up as a player and as a person, and I think we'll only see better things here in the future.
Now, that award for Aji Player and Rookie of the Week in the Northeast 10 comes 1 week after having Andre Anderson earn the same award last week after the Bentley performance. 2 touchdowns at Bentley. He had a 69-yard run. He's had 3 great runs in the year, 69 yards, 71 yards, a 70-yard catch. We'll talk about Andre's performance so far.
Andre's had a great start so far. He's in great shape. Had a great commitment here in the offseason to be in the best shape that he could, and he's finally reaching what I believe is his potential here in year 3 of being at the University of New Haven. He's a great representative of our school, of the area. He's a local kid here from Hill House High School, and he's an outstanding young man. And I think when you watch him play, you'd be hard-pressed to find somebody who makes more plays than him in our conference.
Once again, we're live here at Eli's Orange on Boston Post Road for the first installment of the New Haven Chargers Coaches Show with head coach Chris Pincince from New Haven football. 2-1 start, 2-0 in the Northeast 10, heading into a Southern game this coming week. But before we talk about Southern, talk about the defense a little bit. Tyler Khan has really stepped up this year, 3 straight games with double-figure tackles. He's currently 2nd in the NCAA in total tackles. Talk about his performance overall.
He continues to be the leader of our defense, getting us lined up, making all the plays interiorly in the box that we ask him to do. He's a sure tackle. He's a smart kid, puts a lot of time and preparation in it. He's got a great knowledge of our defense, and he's helped a lot of the younger players out right now, and continues to be a tackling machine for us. And we're hoping that he can stay healthy through this whole thing and help us out through the end of the year.
And he found himself, as he said, in a really great spot in the third quarter, where he happened to turn around and picked off a pass from AIC. Took it 22 yards towards the end zone. It would have been really great if he took another 11 yards, but still 22, set up an 11-yard run for Andre Anderson, so showed some promise there as well.
Yeah, after watching him bat down balls here for the last 2 years, I was just happy that he caught it. He doesn't have the greatest hands in the world. So, again, that's one of the things that we do defensively. We're trying to preach to him to get to the right spots and get to your drops, and Tyler understands what we're doing there defensively. That's his best attribute. He put himself in the right spot, made a play, and again, those 2 turnovers that our defense created in their red zone really helped us, flip the game around and score those points and kind of put them away in the third quarter. And he was a big part of that.
Some other guys that stepped up on the defense against AIC. Drake Harris had a great fumble recovery in a scrum situation. Leo Lorenzo, a transfer coming in, picks off a pass as well. So some great signs coming out of the defense.
There was. Drake is probably, our leader up front on the defensive line. Plays with a lot of energy, a lot of emotion. Been one of the better players in this conference for the last few years. Leo's finally he's one of those guys that transferred in here junior college-wise, and he's kind of getting his feet on the ground right now in the third game that he's played for us. And I'd like to single out Dean Sepanides as one of our defensive linemen as well, a local kid here who currently lives in Orange, originally from Torrington, Connecticut. But Dean had a great game for us, 4 tackles, 2 for a loss, 1 sack, caused fumble. We got a lot of guys that again, we have a lot of depth on the defensive side of the football, and we roll through a 2 deep worth of guys, and we're lucky that they're kind of hitting their stride, and we're not even a quarter of the way through the season yet.
Now, switch back to the offense for a couple minutes. We talked about Aji and Andre over the past couple of weeks. Who are some of the other guys that have really stepped up?
Well, I think Reshawn Harris had a nice couple catches there at the end. He's finally getting healthy right now, and similar to last year, it took him a little while to get himself healthy. He's making some plays for us. I think you can see that, from an offensive line standpoint, all 5, 6, 7 of those guys that are playing significant downs for us have done a great job. And we'll continue to ride Trevor Officer and Lamar Thomas, and we got 3 very good running backs, and sometimes there just aren't enough footballs to go around out there. But they have shown tremendous leadership right now, have accepted their roles from an offensive standpoint, and we're lucky to have a lot of unselfish players on offense.
All right, now let's look ahead to the Southern game this week. It's a rivalry game. Going in, what do you talk to the players about, being that it's a rivalry game? You still need to take this. It's only the 3rd conference game of the year. You still need to take this one, as seriously as the first 2 in conference play. Every game is important headed down.
Yeah, you know what? We do treat it like any other game in that it's a short week for us playing on a Friday night, that it is a league game. It's an important road game for us, but we're all smart enough to understand that, playing Southern Connecticut is not just a normal game in any sport here at the University of New Haven. We're excited for it. I know they are too. That's why they're always great football games and great basketball games or baseball games or, whatever sport is being played. It's just a natural rivalry right down the road. We're excited to get both of the schools involved in it, and I'd be lying to you if I told you that this wasn't circled on our calendar as one of those important events that we have every single year.
Now, you had a couple of big crowds at home the past 2 games, over 3,700 in each. You expect a big crowd this week. What does the crowd bring into a game like that?
You know what? When they're loud at the right times, it's a heck of an environment to be a part of. When it's 3rd and short or 4th and short and we're on defense, kind of adds a little bit from a defensive perspective of trying to get ready and getting going and making a play. Offensively, it's fun after the play. We're able to celebrate with that, and I'm hoping that we can bring a crowd over to Southern. I'm hoping that, our student body can go over to local alums, can be over there on a Friday night, and it'd be great to have more New Haven people there than Southern people.
Stop here at Eli's Orange, sit at the bar for an hour, have some dinner before the game, head over to Southern. That's Friday, 7 o'clock. It's Friday, September 25th over at Southern. Again, 7 o'clock kickoff. So now let's break down the hours a little bit. Start with the offense. What are some of the key players to look for? Well,
the quarterback is probably their best overall football player. He's a redshirt freshman transfer in, from James Madison. And Rob Natola is, wearing number 1 for him at the quarterback position. Everything's going to go through him. So they spread it out. And, he'll run the ball, he'll throw the ball, try to get the ball out of his hands very quickly. He's shown to make some dynamic plays here in the first 3 games for him, and if they can protect him, he's a heck of a weapon for them. They're going to try to run the ball with their 2 running backs, Donald Thomas, and Bashan Fowler, number 5 and number 4. In the first game of the year, they did a great job running the football against Gannon. They were able to control the football. They came back, made it a football game there at the end, and almost beat a very, very good Gannon team on, in their first game. And since then, the last couple weeks, they've kind of gotten away from the run a little bit just because the scores got up on them. If they can run the football against us, then I'm sure that's what they'll want to do. So our job's got to be to stop them from running it, force them to try to throw the ball, and all 3 phases got to take care of that. We got to be able to score a lot of points and get on top of them early, and then from a defensive standpoint, we got to be great on first downs.
They may have an 0-3 record coming in, but it's definitely not indicative of their performances in those first couple games. So it's not something that you take into account necessarily.
No, not at all. We just watch the film and watch how they play, and AIC got up on them early in week number 2 with a couple big plays and some turnovers and those things, and the score just kind of got away from them, and Southern wasn't able to do what they did in week 1 and run the ball. And then last week was very similar. They fell behind early, and after that, they kind of got back into it against Bentley, and it wasn't a very high scoring affair, but neither team really took advantage of their offense. So if they can run it, they'll be a good football team on us. They're very, very good defense. They got some very, very good individual players on defense. They're very big, they're athletic, and last year's any indication, they'll come and they'll play extremely hard against us.
So break down that defense a little bit further with some of the players to keep an eye on.
Ahmad Harani, I believe is how you say his name, number 94, one of the interior kids, very, very big. 6'4", he's 300 pounds, makes a lot of plays in there, plays with a lot of energy. They roll in multiple different linebackers, they roll in some different secondary kids, so their package is very good against us. And like I said, if you watch our film from last year, they played very, very hard the entire game against us. That's the way it always is. That's the way it always will be when New Haven plays Southern, and I hope we're up for the challenge.
So now, what are you guys looking at going in? What are your game plans?
We're going to try to control the ball on offense. Try to get the ball to the kids that can score touchdowns. So if you got a way to get the ball to Andre Anderson, Ty Head, Trevor Officer, and those things, feel free to draw one of those plays up and give it to me, because they, those kids, obviously we put everything on our players out on the football field offensively. Defensively, we got to stop the run. We're going to force them to throw the ball, and in the special teams game, stopping number 19 here, Shaquan Hall, is a big, big priority for us. He's a punt returner, he's a kick returner. He's probably their most dynamic player in the punt return, kick return game in the open field. And if we can stop 19 and limit their field position, I think we'll be in good shape.
All right, I know you don't like to look too far ahead in the schedule, but after this week, what's coming up?
We play Merrimack next weekend at home. Military Appreciation Day for us on October 3rd, so we're excited about that. We got a great crowd, I'm sure, for October 3rd. Our home games have been a tremendous environment. I think if anybody has ever been to one of our games at home or hasn't been in a long time, they should come at a home game on a Saturday, because it's a really, really special thing, the way the community and the campus and the staff kind of rally around it. Between 3,500, 5,000 people be at every game, but there's another 1,000 or so in the tailgate area and 250 people in the band. And just to see the support that the entire athletic department gives to us as a football program, I can't say enough about it. Our kids rally around it. We talk about it almost daily. And, we're just really, really excited to play those home games. Got 6 of them this year, so, it's fun to play on the blue turf.
As you mentioned, October 3rd, the next home game against Merrimack, 1 o'clock at Delacamera Stadium. 3 more coming up after that, right in a row, so it'll be a really good stretch of 3 straight home games starting on October 17th. And then we have homecoming on the 24th. So a nice stretch of home games there, 3 in a row. What does that do for the schedule? What does that do for the guys going into the late in the season?
It makes life a little bit easier during the course of the week. The schedule makers kind of got us here in the first 6 weeks of this. We play a home game on a Saturday, and then we play an away game on a Friday, and we do that 3 times in a row. And so it's tough for our kids that we don't get that off day before the next game that we normally get. So from a physical standpoint, they got to change their life. They got to change their schedule. They got to change their classes, when they're studying for them, when we're practicing, all those type of things. So it is an adjustment for football is so, regime oriented. You know, everything that we do is the same every single day, and to make the kids switch their schedule 3 different times is very difficult. So to be able to settle in here 3 games in a row in late October, be at home, play home games, not have to travel, go through the same normal routine will be great for our kids as we hit the midterm part of the academic calendar, and then as we hit towards the end of October.
All right, well, thank you very much, Coach. The first installment of the New Haven Football Coaches Show here at Eli's Orange. Special thank you to the Eli's staff, Ellis, the general manager, helping with the setup today, and all the fans who came out to join us. And check out NewHavenChargers.com for upcoming dates. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it.
All right.